How was the Adidas brand created? Did you know that a brand valued at $43.62 billion wasn't known as Adidas until the late 1940s? Yes, that's right, and today it is the parent company of some big names like TaylorMade, Rockport, and Reebok. So, how did Adidas reach this level of success? After all, it was in its initial stages during World War II, when the entire world couldn't have a peaceful sleep. Let's dive into the history and see how Adidas was created, and more importantly, how it survived the deadly World War II. The company was founded by Adolf "Adi" Dassler, who began crafting sports shoes in his mother's laundry room after returning from World War I in Herzogenaurach, Germany. By July 1924, Adi's older brother Rudolf joined him, and together they established the Dassler Brothers shoe factory, known as Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik. During those early days, they faced quite a few challenges, like unreliable electricity, but they were ambitious to do something extraordinary. Just imagine that sometimes they had to pedal a bicycle to manually power their equipment. Having this much dedication and passion, even in the toughest of times, was a sign of what was to come. Dassler's innovative thinking led to a massive development in sports footwear. He started creating spiked running shoes, which were specially designed for various athletic events. Here's how he made his design stand out. Instead of the bulky metal spikes previously used, he switched to using canvas and rubber, making the shoes lighter and more efficient. This breakthrough caught the attention of athletes worldwide during the 1936 Summer Olympics. Adolf Dassler managed to convince the legendary US sprinter Jesse Owens to wear his custom-made spikes. Jesse Owens went on to win 4 gold medals, gaining worldwide attention for Dassler's shoes. This success skyrocketed the brand's reputation among athletes and coaches. Before World War II disrupted the market, Dassler's factory was thriving, producing and selling an impressive 200,000 pairs of shoes annually. In 1933, both Dassler brothers made a controversial decision by joining the Nazi Party. Adolf even took on a role in the Hitler Youth as a Sportwart from 1935 until World War II ended. Despite these political affiliations, the Dassler factory remained focused on crafting sports shoes, and it was the last of its kind in Germany, serving the armed forces with footwear. So, were they doing great during the war? The answer is no. By 1943, the war had taken its toll, and the factory could no longer make shoes. Instead, its facilities were repurposed to produce anti-tank weapons. During this challenging time, the company also employed forced laborers at both of its locations. You will be shocked to know that in 1945, the Dassler Brothers factory was on the edge of being destroyed by American forces. But a twist of fate saved it. Adolf Dassler's wife stepped in heroically, explaining to the soldiers that their factory was all about making sports shoes, not weapons. She persuaded them that the workers were only interested in crafting footwear, which convinced the American troops to spare the factory. Afterward, the American forces became loyal customers of the Dassler brothers, buying big quantities of their shoes. This is why we say, behind every successful man, there is a woman. The World War ended in 1945, but it seemed like there was another war happening between the two brothers. After years of working together, Adi and Rudolf Dassler couldn't see eye to eye anymore. So by 1947, their partnership was finished, and both went their separate ways to start brand new companies. Adolf went on to form Adidas, officially registered on August 18, 1949. The name Adidas came from Adi Dassler himself. Meanwhile, Rudolf started his own company called Ruder, which he later rebranded as Puma. Folks often jokingly say Adidas stands for All Day I Dream About Sports, but that's not true. And you know what? The split wasn't just in the family, it split their whole town, Herzogenaurach too. People even started calling it the town of bent necks, because everyone would sneak peeks at each other's shoes to see if they were Team Adidas or Team Puma. This rivalry spilled over even into the local soccer clubs, with each supporting a different Dassler Brothers brand. Even funny situations happened, like handymen visiting Rudolf's house wearing Adidas shoes and being sent home with a free pair of Pumas instead. Sadly, Adi and Rudolf never made up, and although they're both buried in the same cemetery now, they rest as far apart as possible. Anyways, in 1952, a memorable exchange marked a turning point for Adidas. After the 1952 Summer Olympics, Adidas acquired what would become its iconic three-stripe logo from the Finnish company Karhu Sports. Believe it or not, this transaction was settled with just 2 bottles of whiskey and €1,600. As the brand gained more recognition, a new symbol emerged, bringing an additional level of identity to the company. In 1971, the trefoil logo was designed, debuting the following year at the 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich. This represented Adidas until 1997, when a fresh vision took shape under then creative director Peter Moore. Moore introduced the 3 bars logo, which was first seen on the equipment range and eventually became the brand's primary mark. Between 1990 and 1993, Adidas faced some really bumpy times. Imagine what would happen if a big sports brand headed into chaos because of a guy named Bernard Tapie, who had quite a reputation for scandals. It wasn't great for Adidas, but then, like a superhero entering the scene, Robert Louis Dreyfus came in to save the day. He turned things around and gave Adidas a fresh start. Fast forward to 1997, and they conquered new territories by buying the Salomon Group. This wasn't just about shoes anymore. They expanded into winter sports with cool gear for skiing and snowboarding, and even golf with the awesome TaylorMade brand. By 2001, they mixed their name to become Adidas Salomon AG, showing the world they were more than just a sneaker company now. When the 21st century started, Adidas was on a mission to grow and challenge in exciting ways. They decided to buy and sell different parts of their company to keep things fresh and dynamic. In the early 2000s, they sold Salomon, but they held on to TaylorMade until 2017, finding it a valuable part of their lineup. Then, in 2006, Adidas made a big splash by buying Reebok, though they decided to sell Reebok in 2021 and already parted with Rockport in 2015. Adidas didn't stop there. They acquired 510 in 2011, which was super cool because 510 made awesome shoes for climbing and biking. Alongside these business moves, Adidas has always been a major player in sports, not just by sponsoring athletes and teams, but also through exciting collaborations that made them hip and trendy. By the end of 2012, Adidas was celebrating their best revenue numbers yet. The excitement was clear as Chief Executive Herbert Hainer shared an optimistic outlook for the upcoming year. Adidas, originally rooted in Herzogenaurach, Germany, had truly gone global, with headquarters and business hubs popping up in cities like London, Portland, Toronto, Tokyo, Australia, Taiwan, and Spain. Fast forward to January 2015, when Adidas broke new ground in the footwear world by launching the first ever reservation app for sneakers. This cool app, named Adidas Confirmed, used smart geo-targeting technology, allowing fans to snag exclusive limited edition kicks before anyone else. However, here's something that will shock you. During the 2010s and 2020s, people criticized the company for charging too much, using sweatshops, and not doing enough to stop racism and discrimination at work. Yes, you heard that right. Starting in 2013, Adidas teamed up with rapper Kanye West, but things went downhill by 2022, a whole 9 years. Kanye made anti-Semitic and other offensive remarks, which had reportedly been happening for years while he was working with Adidas. This led to a split, and in April 2023, shareholders sued Adidas, arguing the company should have warned about the risks of partnering with Kanye. Now, to restore public confidence and address the aftermath of their split with Kanye West, Adidas decided to channel a portion of the sales from the remaining inventory of Yeezys into organizations dedicated to combating anti-Semitism and racism. This initiative was seen as a critical step in rebuilding their reputation after parting ways with the rapper. The dissolution of their partnership was a seismic event, not just because Yeezys represented a major success for both parties, but also because it left Adidas with a massive stockpile of unsold footwear. The Yeezy line had cultivated a dedicated following by merging cutting-edge fashion with comfort, carving out a niche beyond typical sports apparel. Consequently, the breakup left a void in Adidas's athleisure segment, as Yeezys were more synonymous with style than performance sportswear. Today, the brand stands at $43.62 billion and shows no signs of slowing down. So, this brings us to the end of our journey through the history of Adidas. The brand has been around for decades, and as you can see, it definitely had to go through some tough times to become the global powerhouse it is today. Let us know in the comments which Adidas shoe is your favorite and why. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.